Welcome back to our series on demo reels. So far, we've covered what recruiters look for on a reel, how they watch demo reels, what you should put on yours, and the best shots to put on a reel to get you work as a creature and VFX animator. So let's talk about how you can craft a demo reel to get work in the video game industry. Over the years, we've spoken with a lot of professionals in the video game industry, and they all had some great advice to share when it came to what they like to see on demo reels. Harvey Newman has worked in the industry for nearly 20 years at a number of different studios, including Build a Rocket Boy, DICE, Creative Assembly, Crytek, and Proxima. Listen in to how Harvey continues his thoughts on crafting a demo reel for video games.
Creating a gameplay show reel, you need to actually think. I go into this in my videos. Think about animation systems and how they are broken down, I think. And if you have like specific shots, it's fine. A walk cycle, a run cycle and stuff, it's fine, but it's going to come across as a generic show reel. What you can do for a gameplay show reel is start breaking down specific motion in body mechanics. So you can actually get a walk cycle that goes into a run cycle, that goes into a jump, that goes into a punch, and it goes into a landing. But when you actually do those things, make sure that you actually leave some time in between, add some graphics on top with an X and Y, add some like arrows that you have to do, because what that would tell me as a developer is that this person not only did the animations, but they are also thinking about animation systems. They are thinking that when I press X, the character does this motion. When I press forward, the character does other motion. And when I land, I can land this in this cool way, recoil and go back to idle. That means that you are thinking about animation systems and thinking about animation in a systematic way, because this is what games are about, right? It's about breaking down systems. And this animation fits within this system, and then this other animation fits within this other system. So if you can actually portray that, it doesn't have to be rendered, it doesn't have to be in Unreal. You can just make it in Maya and make it believe. But the most important thing is for us to understand that you are thinking about it that way. Because if you have a show reel that way, that is broken down in those kind of ways, first-person animations, third-person animations, doesn't matter what it is. When you send that show reel in and we ask you over for an interview, guaranteed we're going to ask you, so how would you think this would work? And what inspired you to create these motions, right? Most likely, Prince of Persia, or I don't know, Uncharted, or whatever it was, right? And then we can actually start a conversation about exactly why you actually got this inspiration and what works, what doesn't, all that stuff. And that stuff is great. Saves a bunch of time and stands out amazingly from all the other show reels that I've
totally agree.
It's often been heard that someone wants to get into the game animation industry, but aren't themselves gamers. Now, it's not uncommon to be asked in an interview for a gaming studio, what game are you currently playing, or what's your favorite game? This isn't just for friendly conversation. If you've been around the gaming industry for a while, you should definitely know the name Richard Lico. Richard is an Annie Award-winning animator, having worked at Bungie Games, Polyarc, and teaching online with iAnimate, not to mention releasing his own set of tutorials through his website, Animation Sherpa. Richard and Brent pretty much spell out how beneficial it is for an aspiring game animator to also be a gaming enthusiast.
And it's like, if you get somebody who knows animation, who also is like a hardcore gamer and knows gameplay well, like, that's a powerful combo when it comes to
powerful.
Things feel good, right?
Yes, exactly. Because now you can rely on the inner gamer inside of you to properly validate your own work. You put the animation in with an idea that you hope it's going to work well and play well, and then you play it and you're like, oh no, there's no way, that's just not tight enough. I need it to be tighter. So you go back. Where a lot of animators, they struggle with that they don't have a good sense of that necessarily. Some do, and some really don't. So yeah, it's a powerful combination if you know how to tackle both of those perspectives at the same time.
And incredibly valuable. Like, finding animators that know gameplay well, that's the animator I want to hire. Like, it's totally hard to find and just wicked valuable. Because every game needs good gameplay. Like, that's the core of the experience, right?
Absolutely.
And animation is such an integral part of design when it comes to character-focused games.
Absolutely. It's one of the main feedback sort of loops that you're sending to the player is just the visual, like what's the character doing, so that you understand what's happening in the game and whether you're doing it right or wrong, for instance.
Animating for video games isn't just about cycles and attacks. Cinematics play a huge part in telling the story of the game you are playing. In one of our Q&As, Agora.Studio CEO David Hubert and community co-founder Brent George were asked what should a demo reel look like for someone wanting to become a cinematic animator.
For me, I mean, most, like 90% of cinematics are realistic character animation based on motion capture or performance capture. So show them what they want to see. If you have experience with mocap, show that, ideally the before and after, so we can actually see what you've done with the mocap.
Yeah.
Good facial animation, realistic animation. So yeah, show them what they want to see: mocap, performance, humanoid character, realistic motion.
Yeah,
do it.
Yep. You know, and if you don't have your hands on mocap and you don't know how to use motion builder or something like that, then you're gonna the keyframe's gonna have to be tight. It's gonna have to be very, very good. You're gonna get a big bonus if you can get exposed to the motion capture though, because like David said, most of these pipelines are heavily leaning into that. So if you're coming with really strong keyframe skills, that's great, but it might be a bit of a concern that you're either not going to enjoy editing motion capture data, or you may just be not very fast at it. So there's a bit of a liability there, a bit of a flight risk as well. So you're going to want to be able to prove out that you get that.
If you want to learn more about how to present motion capture animation on your demo reel, we covered this in our previous video on crafting VFX reels. Now, before we move on to the bonus tip, we have an amazing piece of advice for you that is going to set your application apart from any other average application. Lana Bachynski has spent a good portion of her career at both Blizzard Entertainment and Riot Games. She's also a co-founder of Tea Time Animation, a community of student and veteran animators dedicated to discussing and learning about the industry. When appearing as a guest on one of our live streams, Lana was asked if it's a good idea to submit a playable demo of your animation working inside an engine.
Would it be beneficial to show your animation working in engine or on your demo reel?
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Boom, that was easy. All right,
yeah,
next
we'll
one.
go on to the next one.
So definitely, I think it would be beneficial to show it working in engine on your demo reel because it shows that you understand how to put it in game, but it also is beneficial to you so that when you're in an interview, you can be like, I have experience in Unreal. Definitely. And any engine experience is good because a lot of people have like these proprietary engines, but again, it's the same language. It's understanding state trees. One of the most stunning things I ever saw in not a demo reel, but a test submission at Blizzard was we asked somebody to do these animations for us, but then they went an extra step. And when they submitted the test, they said, also, if you want, there's an executable. You can.
Oh man, they did
the animations, but then they hooked them up in Unreal. Made
play my demo reel,
so you could play it. So you could play the animations, seeing it in like from the correct camera angle in a game space, and you could trigger the animations as you would see them. It was.
I'm still waiting for something like that. Yeah, totally. Like what the hell? Just to say that, like, because now you're coming to the party saying, like, I get it. I'm here to make games, and it's not just making animations in my little animation bubble. It's like there's a bigger picture here. You're being part of a bigger thing, and if you show at the very least interest in that, that's going to go a long way. Because big shock here, and I don't know why this is still a thing, but so many people are not doing that. I'm like a broken record on this topic, and I still see way too many people just being like, here's my demo reel, bunch of cycles. And it's like, oh yeah, well, have you ever used an engine before? No, never, like at all. Like they didn't teach me that in school. It's like, well, I do.
But also, how many cycles do you think? Okay, there is a walk cycle, but how many other cycles do you think we're doing?
Totally. That's it. It's like, anyways. But yes, definitely. Obviously, the answer to that question is a 100% yes.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about getting your animation into a game engine, check out our learning path on Intro to Game Animation in Unreal Engine. We want to leave you with this final tip about how to approach animation for video games. It comes from one of our many quick tips that we release on social media each week. If you're new to the channel, we post weekly advice from our animation experts to help take your career and skills to the next level. You can also see how the pros animate their shots in animation breakdowns from frame-by-frame animation, and when you're ready, you can put your newfound skills to the test in our monthly Anim Challenge. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to these channels or follow us on social media so you don't miss out on some amazing advice. When animating for games, it's not just about making sure the animation looks great, but you also have to put yourself in the seat of the player and consider, how does this animation feel when playing the game? Let's hear back from Brent George with some advice that he gave during one of his expert animation reviews. And we're going to let Richard Lico come back one last time to back up what Brent has just said.
The reason why I always tell animators to learn how to get their animations integrated in the game and know enough about just building things like chain attacks, so it's so that they can feel it. So they can put it in and go, oh, wait, that doesn't really work all that well. It's like sometimes people need to connect with it physically before they get it. Some others don't need that. Some people can just imagine themselves. I always, whenever I'm making animations for a game, I literally, I'm imagining myself playing it. I'm going into a state of play in my brain, and I'm imagining what that would be like. So again, making sure it's important to understand enough about gameplay mechanics to be able to like realize, oh, that does make a lot of sense.
I like what you said there about having it feel right. And I think that is the crux of like what separates a gameplay animator from a film animator, where film animators are worried about what you're seeing. And I think when a film animator comes over to games, they're also worried about what the player's seeing. And I think it's a bit of a red herring, because it's important to make what you see look good, right? But it's really about the feel. And a lot of that comes from things that you don't directly see, like that hit pause, like jiggling the body in these broad actions. It's like, if it's not there, you feel it missing. And when it is there, you feel it there, but you'll never see it because everything's just kind of happening, right? And like if an arc is wobbly when the sword swings, you don't really see it, but you feel it. Like there's just so much that is important to like pressing that button and validating, like giving that communication back that we have to worry about,
We hope you got some great ideas out of this video and are feeling more confident in creating your reel for the gaming industry. If we've left anything out, please drop us your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And as always, until next time, stay tuned and stay animated.